staff at AHC is here to assist. If you wish, you can also get more information on the website.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
If you do, join us on the Doctor's Lounge and hear...
It is 1 o'clock. This is America's Web Radio, and we are in...
Let's talk Venezuelans.
Hey!
How's everybody doing?
Good afternoon, Mr. David Moxley in the controls, and Brad, how you been?
Good, thank you. How are you?
How you been, David?
Good.
Okay, this is an historical day because it's the day when President Donald Trump will be accepting the nomination for the Republican Party to be the next President of the United States of America. Yes.
To be re-elected, you mean?
Re-elected, yes, ma'am.
You know, to show how effective, in my opinion, Donald Trump has been as president is the fact that I've asked in each program that we've done this morning for everybody to take a minute and say a prayer for our neighbors in Louisiana and in Texas that are being hit by the hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And, you know, Trump has been monitoring it, and he will have, well, FEMA is already there, and he will have aid going to both states before the Democrats could decide where they are. So, you know, Trump is in my opinion, has been a very good president and very responsive. And, you know, I think the RNC convention has just been fantastic.
I think Donald J. Trump is heading the second American Revolution.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay,
it's about to calm down.
You have in the 18th century you had Washington. In the 19th century you have Lincoln, and in the 21st century, in the 20th century it was, but in the 21st century you have Donald J. Trump. He's the guy who will decide. Well, in the 20th century, Theodore Roosevelt. I think Theodore Roosevelt is the guy who converts the United States into a worldwide power. But Donald J. Trump is bringing the United States into the 21st century, really. And is the most important president of not an era, in a century. So that's my humble opinion. Okay, so
what's up? What's the
what's
news?
up? Well, the Democratic Party. Let's begin with Mr. Biden.
No, you.
He had
That's all my day now.
He had a big problem, not only in the matter of what he did during his political career, including being the vice president of the worst presidency in the last 200 years. Okay, but even the BBC exposes the lies about Trump in Biden's speech acceptances. Okay?
So the lies that Biden says about
President Trump, yes.
The
Okay.
BBC?
The BBC.
The British Broadcasting?
Absolutely.
They're
yes.
exposing his lies?
Yes. Mrs. Fiallo Flor,
Oh, Lord.
she published on August 25th, 2020. The candidate for U.S. president for the Democratic Party gave a speech laden with inconsistencies. Former Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden, gave his first public speech as the presidential candidate for the Democratic Party, which he used to throw several lies and inaccuracies in front of the Democratic National Convention on the government of President Donald J. Trump. The BBC London put the speech through a review process and found the following inconsistencies.
Okay.
We lead the world in confirmed case, we lead the world in death and cases of COVID-19.
Okay.
Biden, who was the nation's second in command under Barack Obama, criticized President Donald Trump's response to the coronavirus pandemic.
Okay.
He said the United States has the highest number of coronavirus cases and deaths in the world, with more than 5.5 million confirmed cases and 174,000 deaths, according to Johns Hopkins University. However, the BBC knows that the U.S. also has a larger population than any other countries, and it's 1.5 times greater in number than all the Western Europe, a region that was the epicenter of the pandemic for weeks, with 196 million inhabitants. At the same time, the United States, the figure exceeds 331 million. The U.S. is not the country with the most deaths per capita, although it's in the top 10, according to Johns Hopkins University. The North America country has registered more than 52 deaths for coronavirus per 1,000 inhabitants. Nor has Biden considered how freedom or its absence affects the transparency of numbers. For example, in China's case, where the virus originated, doctors and journalists who warned about the dangers of the virus were censored, detained, and even disappeared. Also, residents of Wuhan denounced how the lack of tests affect the low number of diagnoses. In fact, through the propaganda department, the Communist Party of China established a book on the triumph of the revolution over the virus. After a month, they recognized that the figures were 50% higher than the official ones. Second, more than 50 billion people have applied for unemployment benefits this year. Biden also used the coronavirus pandemic to speak about unemployment in the U.S. The BBC maintains that the figure he mentioned, 50 million, is correct, according to a statistic of the U.S. Department of Labor. The total number of Americans who have filed unemployment claims since the virus appeared. However, it highlights that the number of claimants has decreased since May, where were more than 20 million claims. Currently, 14.8 million people claim unemployment benefits, according to the latest publication of weekly figures, not 50 million. Despite the pandemic, the U.S. economy is picking up, creating 2.5 million jobs in May and 4.8 million jobs in June, almost double.
That wasn't during the pandemic?
Yes.
That's the American ingenuity.
And the trend shows positive figures. In fact, before the quarantine, the U.S. broke the historical employment record, benefiting especially the poorest and ethnic minorities. Due to the economic impact of the pandemic, unemployment currently stands in 10.2%. Before this, less than 3.5% of the population was unemployment. Third, almost 1 in 6 small businesses has closed this year. Another lie. Biden tried to appeal to the population's affected segment by claiming that 1 in 6 businesses closed in 2020. but a recent survey of small business owners in the U.S. showed that only 1% of a small business has closed permanently. In the middle of July this year, another 12% said that they had temporarily closed, but even taking this into account is less than 1 in 6 that Biden claimed. Fourth, President Trump favored racial supremacists in his speech. Okay, white supremacist and Nazi, how are you?
Yeah, they call me that I am a Nazi.
Yes.
You know, they call me white supremacist. Antifa called me white supremacist.
A Nazi.
And a Nazi. The only white thing I have is here, look. If you come closer, David, right here, you're going to see some white hair. You know, it's because I'm getting old. You follow? And well, sometimes I think it's not that I'm getting old. I think it's the campaign is taking a troll on me.
Sure.
You follow what I mean? Sure. That's the only thing white I have. Because I have in my blood, I am the result of white, black, and Native American from South America. So that's why you see this face here. You know, and I don't have no German in my...
Well,
you know?
I had a surprise. I bought you a course on German in order to you learn German and to have something. Okay. So finally, amid the social tension in the United States, Biden tried to make Trump look like a racial supremacist defender. In the era of mass protests on Black Lives Matter, whose speech professes racial socialism, Biden said that one of his goals would be erase the stain of racism, and mentioned the 2017 Charlottesville, Virginia protests, where there were several clashes between those who wanted to demolish historical statues and those who defend their permanence. Remember that the president said there were, quote, terrific people on both sides. Biden said, and he used the situation to say, I knew I had to run, and if he were a hero facing an extremist. But according to the transcript of the August 15 press conference referred to, Biden, when asked President Trump about the presence of neo-Nazis at the rally, he said, there were nasty people in that group, but there were also good people on both sides. And added, I am not talking about neo-Nazis and white nationalists, because they should be totally condemned. In other words, when he spoke of the right of the people on both sides, he has not referring to the racist, but to those who do not want to lose a historical legacy, in the same way that he understood the claim of the left. At the same time, he condemned the communists who attacked the country's cultural and historical identity. So much so that Trump denounced the communist organization Antifa as a domestic terrorist, given the devastation they have caused in the Black Lives Matter protest framework, which the Democratic Party has not only supported, but also Biden's campaign team has paid bail for those arrested for causing damages. Even members of Antifa have assassinated black citizens for supporting Trump, and their collectivist nature requires people to think according to their biological characteristics, not their ideals, ethics, or morals. Contrary to the accusations of supposed racism promoted by Biden against Trump, who has made a statement, and even openly racist accusations have been in the Democratic Party candidate. In that interview with the presenter, Charlie Mack told him, if you don't know whether to vote for Donald Trump or me, you are not black. Well, In the democratic ideology, there is not individual as a political subject, but members of groups that must think and act in mass at the service of the party.
Yes, sir. That
So-
sounds like a slavery back all over again.
Yes.
If
but
you don't do what I say, and if you don't think how I think, you are not, in this case, black, or you are not Latino, or you are not Democrat.
But it's very significant that it's BBC, the
That's what
one
I'm
who
saying.
published
So
this thing.
why is this? Why are they doing this? When we know the media is bought and paid by the communists and political Islam.
I think.
Why are they
I
denouncing-
think the world is getting the message of President Trump at last.
Finally, I wanted to talk
Finally.
about the first night of the DNC, of the RNC.
Of the RNC, but it would be. It's 1:15. Are we taking the break or not?
No.
Not okay. So talk about
Yeah, the first
beginning.
day. The first day. Okay, this is the week. Tonight is the last day of the convention.
So today
For
is
the
when
Republican, right?
So today is the day that President Trump
Will accept the
nomination.
nomination, yeah.
Okay.
To be the candidate for the Republican National, for the Republican
Okay.
as a president, right? He's gonna be the only one in the ticket for them. So Monday, I was watching some of the speeches on Monday, the first night, and there were 3 speeches that caught my attention powerfully. Okay, on Tuesday there was another one. It was a lady that she was talking about Planned Parenthood. She used to work and she dropped them like a hot potato, you know. But the first day, which was on Monday, the 3 speeches that got my attention was, the first one was Máximo Álvarez. Máximo Álvarez is an immigrant from Cuba, but his parents moved from Spain to Cuba, escaping from communism in Spain. So they moved to Cuba, and then a few years later, Cuba ended up in communism and then moved to the United States. So he stays here. He's an American. He lives in Miami, and he was talking. He almost cried, and I was crying at the end of his speech, because he said, if we lose America, we don't have nowhere to go. And he was basically calling out the socialism agenda. He was calling out the communist agenda. Kimberly Guilford, she was talking about the America, if America will keep going with the socialist Biden idea and the Democrat idea, we're going to end up like a Cuba and Venezuela, okay? And then Mr. Scott, the Senator Scott from South Carolina, he was talking about socialism too. And then
hold on,
one more. The one that caught my attention is from Georgia, Vernon Jones. He was invited. He was the only Democrat being invited to speak in the convention, and he was talking at the end how bad socialism will be for the black community.
Yes,
Okay?
absolutely. But your message got traction for the last 14 months. You've been talking about socialism.
I've been talking for the last 14 months what we are going through, and what I find out when I go to those meetings as the GOP meeting, you know, they meet once a month, and they do breakfast, or they do this or that, whatever. Is a lot of the people who are members of the GOP, they understand the message when I come and I tell them what we are going through. But what is lacking is the leaders of the GOP locally, like let's say the county.
The counties.
They are not they are not echoing the message that we are having. The message since last year, President Trump, in the State of the Union last year, he says that America will never be a socialist country. And this year, in the State of the Union, before Nancy Pelosi, remember she tear out the pages. He says, while I am president, America will never be a socialist country. So he make a little change in the message. So finally on Monday, all these people who were speaking on Monday, they were talking about the danger of socialism. And to tell you the truth, Carlos, and to tell you the truth, David, I felt being reivindicated. Why? Because a lot of leaders from the GOP, from the politicians, career politicians, leader from the GOP, civil leaders like civilians leaders, they are in denial. They are not talking about what we are going through. They are talking about the symptoms. Like, for example, they are talking, let's go elect so-and-so so he can fix the holes on the street. Or he can fix the lights on the street. Those are just the symptom. The problem is socialism. Socialism, the system is that create the holes in the street will be something permanent. Now electricity on the street will be permanent. So I feel reivindicated because the message that I've been talking for 14 months, President Trump and his team open up the convention with the subject of stop socialism. Don't vote Biden agenda and Kamala Harris agenda.
But what is the Kamala Harris and Joe Biden agenda? They bring nothing to the table. Let me explain you something. Before the convention, the Republican convention, President Trump is in the Republican presidential candidate, and Mike Pence confirmed as the vice presidency during the convention in Charlotte, North Carolina. But ahead of the 2020 RNC convention, President Trump has published his list for a second term in the White House. Take a look for the president plan, courtesy of the Trump campaign. Look what Mr. Biden says and his lies and the proposals of the president. If you contrast both things, this guy Biden is in the past, and he only message is hate, and the message of President Trump is, okay, the first 4 years we got these objectives covers, and now we have to look for the future. And the future is the following. Objectives on jobs.
Yes.
Create 10 million new jobs in 10 months.
Woohoo!
Create 1 million new small businesses.
Yes.
That's in the first year. Reduce taxes to increase take-home pay and keep American jobs. Enact fair trade agreements that protect American jobs. Made in America tax credits. That means any product who has the made in America or made in USA, we will have a tax credit.
So we're gonna go back to the beginning. When I came in 1993, I used to see a lot of products here in America say made in USA.
Okay.
We didn't see too much China stuff.
Expand areas of opportunity.
Yeah, that's my area right there.
Right there. That's one of your messages.
That's one of my messages.
Continuing the regulatory plan for energy independence. Okay. Second, eradication of COVID-19. Develop a vaccine by the end of 2020. Return to normalcy in 2021. Manufacturing all essential drugs and supplies for healthcare workers in the United States. We have to stop the dependency on that field. Restock stocks and prepare for future pandemics. Third, end our partnership with China.
Yeah.
Objective, regain 1 million manufacturing jobs that are in the communist China today. What are the formulas? Tax credits for companies bringing jobs from China.
Yeah.
Allow a 100% expense deduction for essential industries like pharmaceutical and robotics. that brings the manufacturing back to the United States.
Woohoo!
Okay. Next, there are no federal contracts for companies that outsource to China. Hold China fully responsible for allowing the virus to spread around the world. That
Of
means
course, they need to pay.
They need to pay.
They need to pay some kind of
retribution.
retribution. They have to.
They have to.
They create all this chaos.
Yes.
And when it comes to healthcare and education, man, we have a lot of. Yes.
Okay. Healthcare, the goals. Protect our veterans and provide world-class healthcare and service. Protect Social Security and Medicare. What is the formula? Reduce prescription drug prices. And the way to reduce these prices is through free market.
Yes, sir.
Even if we have to open our importation from other places, okay? Put patients and doctors back in charge of our healthcare
Not
system.
the United Nations.
No,
Because
the-
that's how I find out the United Nations is in charge of our health system.
Yes.
Okay? The codes and everything. Remember, I used to be a CPC,
A coder.
professional coder.
Uh-huh.
I didn't renew that this year. It's not worth it. So what I found out is the United Nations is in charge to let America know how much per code they're supposed to be charging.
Whoa.
Okay. Keep going.
Okay. Lower health insurance premiums. End of surprise billing. Cover all pre-existing conditions. Okay? Education. The objective. Give them back their ideological independence and training as civics so that they become citizens. Because one of the things that we see right now with the millennium generation and a little before all this snowflakes is that they are not citizens.
No.
They are opinionated human beings, but they are not citizens. They are not act with responsibility. And remember, freedom always carry over the word responsibility. Okay?
Of course.
So what's the formula? 1. Teach American exceptionalism.
Yes.
Okay.
Stop being so how you call happy with whatever it comes out. Whatever,
Yes.
You know, conformista. ¿Cómo se dice eso? Conformista.
Yeah, they don't care about the results. They just want to
Just get by.
get by. Second, provide school options to all children in America. That means that if you don't like the school where your children or your child is at, you cannot get what you can
take
go
your child wherever you want
wherever
and
exactly.
take the money with him.
Yes.
With her.
Drain the swamp. 1. Approve the term limits for Congress. That means senators and representatives. It's ridiculous that you have in the Congress people that it's been there for 60 and 50 years. That must be end.
Pelosi gotta go.
A lot of dinosaurs has to go.
Dinosaur.
Yes, those are
I like
dinosaurs.
that was rhino. It's a combination of rhino, dinosaur, and all that swamp.
Same. Rhino, something like that. And bureaucratic government harassment on U.S. citizens and small business. Exposing Washington's money trail and delegating powers to the people and the states. Drain the globalist swamp by standing up to the international organizations that hurt American citizens. And we will be back after these messages.
In two It's for this reason that the Docs for Patient Care Foundation was created. Now, everyone can join the fight and become a member of an organization created by doctors for patients, dedicated to fighting for your healthcare freedom and preserving the doctor-patient relationship. While you're at your computer, please go to www.docs4patientcarefoundation.org. That's www.docs4patientcarefoundation.org and make a tax-deductible donation and join the fight along with us. Thank you.
My name is Kyle Hayes, a motorsports student at Alfred State College. Every year, Alfred State students compete in the Great Race, which is a cross-country time endurance rally for vintage vehicles. As you can imagine, it's pretty costly. I'm asking for your help. Your donation can make it possible for these students to live their passion and promote the vintage automobile industry. Please visit our site at give.alfredstate.edu and search Great Race to learn more and help us reach our goal. Thank you.
If your health insurance premium is more than your mortgage, Ellen Deal with Ideal Solutions is here to help. Whether you're a small business owner, individual family, or baby boomer, email maga45cag@gmail.com and I'll respond with 3 easy questions to help you determine if you can get away from Obamacare. As a 20-year veteran of the insurance industry, I'm here to help with all your insurance needs. Email Ellen Deal at maga45cag@gmail.com.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
And the president is running for the second term, and he wins. Okay. This is the other point that the president wants to clarify during his second term. Defend our judicial and justice system. Objective: improve safety on the streets of this entire nation, especially in large urban centers.
Yeah, we need our police.
The formulas.
I don't want no
fully fund and hire more police and law enforcement officers.
I don't want no civilian
patrols and
increase like
increase criminal penalties for assaults on law enforcement officers. Mm-hmm. You have to stop the aggression against the officers. Mm-hmm. They represent the law and they are there to serve and to protect.
Yeah, whoever attack them, they're domestic terrorists.
Process shootings from vehicles as acts of domestic terrorism. Okay? Bring violent extremist groups like Antifa to justice.
And the Democrat in the House, they don't want to declare them as nothing bad. So,
and cashless bail and keep dangerous criminals locked up until trial.
Of course. And end illegal immigration and protect workers. Of course.
Formulas. Prevent illegal immigrants from being eligible for taxpayer-funded welfare, healthcare, and free college tuition.
So no more freebies for the illegals.
Dismantle human trafficking networks. Mandatory deportation for non-citizen gang members.
Yes.
End sanctuary cities and restore our neighborhoods and protect our families.
Especially the minorities.
Ban U.S. companies from replacing U.S. citizens with lower cost foreign workers, such as the people from the DACA program.
DACA
exactly.
program takes a lot of jobs
from citizens.
Black citizens and from other minority who are citizens in America. They take let me explain you why. A citizen, they would pay $18 to $20 an hour.
Yes.
And they're paying the DACA $12 an hour.
Yes.
So it's This is what the big companies are doing.
It's
They are the ones who are promoting the illegals to come here so they can pay less and they can enrich themselves more.
Yeah, it's
by punishing and empowering the legal and the minority
but
legal
it's
community.
it's a 40% less. You know, that's what they are doing. Almost half. Okay. Demand that new immigrants be able to support themselves economically. Innovate for the future. Launch the Space Force, establish a permanent presence on the moon, and send the first human crewed mission to Mars.
Hallelujah. We're going back to what we're supposed to be a long time ago.
Build the world's most extensive infrastructure system. We need. It's shameful that basically in the United States we have a infrastructure system that is almost 60 years old.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Because they have been giving the money to other countries instead of
like China.
No, but they are giving USA help to other countries. It's luz para afuera y oscuridad para la casa. How do you say that?
That's
Light for outside and darkness for inside the United States.
Yes.
Gotta finish. That has to finish.
Win the race to 5G and establish a national high-speed wireless internet network. That's almost in the door. Let me tell you, with the SpaceX and their satellites. And it would be a 1 gigabyte per second transmission system. So all the internet broadband will be like a turtle, compared with that new promise. Continue to lead the world in access to cleaner drinking water and air. Partnered with other nations to clean up our planet's ocean, because we have a big problem with the plastics in the ocean.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like an island, right? It's so many.
They are located four islands made of plastic floating in the ocean.
Yeah.
In the Pacific, you had two, one in the Atlantic and one in the Indian Ocean, and also in the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, United States of America world leader. Objectives: America first. Formulas: get allies to pay their fair share. Enough is that the United States has to pay for the defense of other countries. They have to pay for their own defense and put their own people on it. Maintain and expand America's unmatched military strength. Yes. Okay? He got it. He renewed the American arsenal, but we need to keep it in the first place. And second, we cannot share our secrets, our military secrets.
No.
Not even with allies.
No. That is like you are in your house and you're going to tell your neighbor what you're going to be doing inside your house.
Exactly.
Come on.
And global terrorists who threaten to harm Americans. Okay? Like what happened with Mr. What was the guy of Iran that get killed in Iraq? That Somalis? Soleimani. Build an extensive cybersecurity defense system and missile defense system. Okay? Star Wars, basically. Stop endless war and bring our troops home. Okay? Because enough is enough. How long it's been since we put our feet in Afghanistan? 19 years, right? How long since we intervened in Iraq? 15 years. And what happened? What happened in Iraq? That we have now an enemy in Iraq, an ally of Iran. Okay.
Yeah, because of the bad policies and decision of the Bush's administration. Yes, I say both. The Bush's administration, the Clinton administration, and the Obama administration. They just want to globalize everything.
Yes.
But they want to keep the money from us. They want to take us. They want to rob us so they can support their own. You know what? Let me
the gobernanza.
Let me leave it there. Let me leave it there
The
because I'm gonna get
gobernanza.
upset.
The gobernanza. Of all this program, which is your favorite?
I like the one with security. The work, the employment. I like the employment. I believe that when it comes to health, we the citizen we have to resolve that situation. The government should not be getting involved in that.
Exactly.
Okay, so I don't even know why he have to, but I guess because Obama did the Obamacare, so he have to try to resolve that situation. I love the idea of finishing relationship with China as a punishment because I believe President Trump learned his lesson. Number one, with them, and I believe he's about to learn a second lesson with the other group. The first group that he learned his lesson was from the communists, the Chinese.
Yeah.
He learned his lesson. That no matter if what you do and you talk and agree and you sign contract with the communists, they will never uphold and the contract or the
contract.
Yeah, the contract or the agreement that they are trying to do with you. They always come with something and they smash you in the head.
Yes.
And that's what they did after President Trump tried to get the trade deals.
The trade agreement, yes.
The trade agreement. After he did that, look what they came. They came with the Chinese virus.
Yeah.
To destroy the economy that he was already built for 3 years. Was the strongest economy in the history of United States.
Yes.
It took a freaking virus. So, yes, they need to pay. The second lesson President Trump, I believe he's going to learn is from the Muslim world, because he just signed a week ago or 2 weeks ago the peace between the United Emirates Arab and Israel, and he's going to learn his lesson this time with the Muslim because they are like the communists. They only will respect until they regroup and they organize so they can equip and then attack.
I compare that the Muslim world and the communist world like snakes. Okay? They can change their skin. But
they continue being a snake.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what they are.
So another one that I like is the terminating the illegal immigration. Finally, we can figure that out and get rid of that by finishing building the wall and controlling these people who are coming here and taking away the job.
And create a comprehensive immigration.
Whoever qualify, well, let it be. But if you don't qualify, I'm sorry, you gotta go back.
Yeah, but you have to redo the whole system. The system is sick. Well, we continue after these messages.
You can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan, and every family will save thousands of dollars a year. I'm Ellen Deal, and if you've been hurt by the Affordable Care Act, you can email MAGA45CAG@gmail.com to see if we can help. Small business owners, individuals, families, and baby boomers, email MAGA45CAG@gmail.com for 3 easy questions to determine if you can get away from Obamacare. I'm a 20-year veteran of the insurance industry and here to help you for all your insurance needs. You can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan, and every family will save thousands of dollars a year. I'm Ellen Deal, and if you've been hurt by the Affordable Care Act, you can email MAGA45CAG@gmail.com to see if we can help. Small business owners, individuals, families, and baby boomers, email MAGA45CAG@gmail.com for 3 easy questions to determine if you can get away from Obamacare. I'm a 20-year veteran of the insurance industry and here to help you for all your insurance needs.
One more time, I want to ask everybody to say a little special prayer for our neighbors in Louisiana and Texas that are being hit by the hurricane. It's Category 4, may even touch Category 5 almost, but there's been a lot of damage. Some folks have been killed, and just say a little silent prayer for them. I'm sure they'd all appreciate it. With that being said, right after this, we'll get back to Let's Talk Venezuelan.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
Okay, David Moxley, thank you very much. From all these promises that President Trump is writing down, and you've been involved in politics since the 50s, basically. Dwight Eisenhower was the president when you first voted, isn't it?
Pardon me? I may be old, but I'm not that old.
From the 60s? From
60s. Oh, let's see. 60s.
And when was the first time that you vote?
Gosh, I don't remember. It would have been in the... when did they pass the 18-year-old? That was in the 60s.
No, that was in the 71.
71 was when they passed the 18-year-old vote?
Yes.
Well, then I guess it would have been in the 70s was the first time I voted. Mm-hmm. Even though I was in my 20s at the time. But
Okay. So, in your long history as citizen of the United States, how do you feel President Trump is doing on compared for the last 5 decades?
Kennedy had a draw that no other president has had in my lifetime, and it was a shame that he was assassinated. He could have probably done more for the country than he was really given the opportunity. Never understood, and I don't know, I'll go to my grave not knowing the truth about his assassination, I don't think. Mm-hmm. Beyond that, Eisenhower should have stayed in the Army. Johnson should have stayed in Texas, but they didn't want him either. And, Nixon... Nixon had a ego problem, and I can't really say that. I actually liked Ford while he was in, and of course Reagan, and I think Reagan probably was one of our best presidents ever, in my opinion. Okay. As far as rating Trump, I find it an oxymoron and extremely hypocritical of the Democrats to, I think Trump's he stood up where other presidents wouldn't. Mm-hmm. He stood up to China, he stood up to North Korea, and, and one of the things that I totally agree with is, why do we not only have to be the world police, but why do we have to pay for everything?
Exactly.
And I was getting, I agree with Trump that says, hey, are you going to be in the organization, you pay your fair share. And
bingo.
I really agree with that. So I think Trump will go down as a very, very good president. I don't know what's going to happen between now and then, but I think he will be recognized as as saving the United States, quite frankly. And we got some ways to go, folks. When our special agent in charge, and I don't think he minds me telling this, but he was with Homeland Security, and he has been called back to Homeland Security, because they needed his expertise, and he had retired. He was gone, out, end. But they have called him back, and he won't be doing a show with us for a while until all of our turmoil. And I don't think the American public appreciates the turmoil and trouble that we're in as a country goes. I think most people are like Biden. They live in la la land, and you know, they don't know exactly which stool they're sitting on. It could be just the toilet for all I know, but you know, they don't know where they are or what they're doing, and they don't. And unfortunately, my industry has been totally disappointing. If I was still in a commercial radio station, right now would be the easiest time in the world. All you'd have to do is reach up and pull a story, and there's a story here, there's a story there, there's a hurricane, there's more news, not opinions, news that you could report on than has been around in years and years and years. And we're not getting the news, we're getting the opinion of whatever announcer or actor it happens to be sitting behind a desk.
So the infotainment did a lot of damage to the industry.
The what?
The infotainment.
Oh yeah, exactly. They're not presenting what I grew up with, which was news, and you reported news. And they're not reporting, you know, it's like I was watching the protests in Seattle, and particularly paying attention to Portland. It ain't no protest. It's a bunch of damn crooks, thieves, bad people. And quite frankly, I can't promote this, but you know how to put a stop to it? Just shoot them all.
Good.
You know, you shoot a few of them, you've got their attention, and the others, they're cowards anyway. You know, one-on-one, those people are cowards. They have to be in a group. They have to, you know, and all be yelling one thing. And
that's right.
All of this kind of crap.
And they named that democracy.
They call it democracy.
They call it democracy.
It ain't no democracy. It's an excuse to get a new pair of Nikes.
Yeah, they're robbing, looting, and people working all their life, 20 years, 30 years, building a business, and they lose the business in less than an hour.
Yeah.
Yep. And
okay? And you know what? Somebody come out and tweet it. It's okay. Those businesses have insurance. Excuse me?
You know, right where this office, I have to pay terrorist insurance.
Wow.
Why? Because it's on my insurance policy that you know, I have comprehensive insurance in case somebody trips and breaks their neck. I hope it's a Democrat, but you know, if something happens. But they also have added a clause in that I pay something a month for terrorism insurance in case somebody burns the building down, I guess. I don't know, but it's in there. Everybody else is having to pay it now.
Wow.
And it's
sad times. Sad times. Yes. And what is to close the program? What is of all these programs that President Trump wants to develop? Which is your favorite?
America First.
America First.
America First. When it comes to America First, that means we don't take socialism as a normal type of life. That means we are independent, we love our freedom. We are responsible for our actions. We don't blame the state. We don't blame nobody. Everybody is responsible for their own action. That's what it means, freedom. And America First is just the label or the result of everything good that we are doing to put our country in the high position and putting ourselves in that position. So other countries, when they are in trouble, they're going to need somebody to help them out. And guess who's going to be? America.
And for me, it was the innovate for the future. And let me explain you why. Because this idea give us the how President Donald J. Trump, he really is. He's not a politician. He's a statesman. And there is a very, very special difference. The politicians only thinks for the next election.
Yes.
The statesmen, they think and they working for the next generation.
That's right.
Okay? So when he says innovate for the future, he says, okay, the United States today is a strong country, but we must be a strong country and we need to create the condition to be a strong country on the future. And his guarantee in that way the existence of the United States, of this project of country that has been in the making for the last 240 years and for the future. Well, with that, it's...
With that being said,
we
are gone. So
yeah, but David says that we need to elastic a little bit the time.
A little longer.
Oh,
okay.
We've got a couple of minutes to go.
Okay, we have a couple of minutes to go. Well, let's talk about your campaign.
About Venezuela. What's going on?
Well,
in Venezuela
we have a news.
Yeah, what was lately about Venezuela?
Do you remember General Eructo?
General Eructo.
Acosta Carles, the one who burp.
Ah,
General burp.
That's not the supreme guy.
No, the general that went into a place and took a Malta and they erupted burp.
Okay,
burp,
a
burp in front of the cameras, and he took over the polar place. Okay.
What happened with him?
He's candidate for Primero Justicia and Acción Democrática. That's for the people of Venezuela.
Those are the options that they got.
Yes.
It's like a Democrat here with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Yes.
That's the best option they have.
That's the best option they have.
So this is what I think. This is, and before we leave, this is the thing that people. It looks like a lot of leaders from political party, they didn't get the memo. People are tired of career politicians.
Yes.
They want new blood, new people.
And Putin general.
Bye.
Okay, goodbye.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
In 2009, the membership organization Docs for Patient Care was founded.